Herded Health is sponsored video content brought to you by MedCity News.
Hello and welcome to Herded Health. I am Arundhati Parmar, Editor-in-Chief of MedCity News, and I have with me Frank Harvey, CEO of Surescripts. Frank, welcome. I wanted to talk to you about interoperability, and that's sort of the world that you live in. Can you talk a little bit about how AI has entered that world of e-prescribing and interoperability, the world that you live in?
Sure, I'm glad to. First of all, thank you so much for having me this morning. It's a pleasure to see you again. You know, Surescripts, we've got a network that over 24 billion transactions a year at this point, and so interoperability is the core of what we do. And maybe to help people understand interoperability a little bit, it's making sure we're pulling together all the right clinical data to get it in the right place to help both the practitioners, and the patients at the right time. And so for us, from the very beginning formation of Surescripts, we've been utilizing a form of AI. So our very first platform, machine learning, was incorporated in. And everybody thought of that as AI before. Now generative AI is coming about. So we've changed our thinking from sort of e-prescribing to intelligent prescribing. So we believe that the generative AI is going to help us do a better job of sort of taking some of that administrative burden out of the prescribing process, making sure we're doing a better job with, for instance, prior authorizations and getting those back and completed quicker and without any hassle for the physicians or the patients. So anything we can do to improve the quality of the prescription, the safety of the prescription, all of that we're pulling in where possible. Now we think generative AI, it has its place, but I think you have to be very cautious with it. There always has to be a human in that intervention right now. It still has some of those hallucinations. Nobody really understands, so we're proceeding cautiously, but incorporating it in where it makes sense and where you've got that human intervention as well.
So you mentioned prior authorizations. As you're well aware, it's a real sore point between providers and payers. I understand you recently did a case study involving two health systems, one of which is Cleveland Clinic, and you looked at how that prior authorization process can be smoothed out. Can you talk a little bit about what kind of technological enhancements could be made to make that process smoother?
Yeah, and so it's really important to understand that the burden of prior authorization isn't just on the providers, just not on the physicians and pharmacists that get delayed by it, but the real burden of prior authorization is on the patient that sometimes has to wait days or even weeks to get on a medication.
Right.
So as you know, most prior authorizations require 5 or 6 or 10 pieces of information to be able to provide it for the PBM to be able to approve it. So in our case, we're utilizing our technology, Record Locator and Exchange, to go out, call across all the health records that we have access into, which is basically every EHR, find the answers to those questions, and right in the prescribing process, right as the doctor's in the middle of prescribing, getting an adjudication back within 30 seconds, 35 seconds. So rather than it having to delay a patient a couple of days from being on therapy, immediately that can be solved. The pharmacist never sees it as a prior authorization because it gets cleared. And so, again, working with Cleveland Clinic and with Optum, we've been very successful at proving out the pilot. Now it goes to expand to more drug classes and to hit a larger cross-section of the prior authorizations.
I want to talk a little bit about Surescripts, the business. Sure. Recently you announced that a private equity firm has taken a stake in the company. I'm curious about what that funding lets you do. I understand you want to do M&As and stuff like that, so any sort of light you may shed on that partnership, that would be very helpful.
Yeah, glad to do that. So I think first important to step back and look at Surescripts and our mission. Our mission is really threefold: to continue to improve the quality of care, to lower the cost of healthcare, and to improve patient safety. So as we looked at the number of things that we want to do in the future, some of those things will require acquisitions, some of those things will require continuing to invest in our current platform. Because of that, we knew we need to have a lot of funding available. So we started looking for what is the right company that shares that same vision, that shares the desire to handle those big systemic issues in healthcare. There are 1,000-point solutions out there that are focused on one little thing here or there. We want to focus on the bigger systemic issues and solve many of these problems in healthcare to help relieve provider burnout, to help relieve the burden of prior authorization, to help the patient get on the right product sooner that can improve their health sooner. So for us, it was looking for the right partner to come in. TPG is a wonderful company. They're fully supportive, and they think the same way we do. And otherwise, we're going to do well by doing good for patients and providers.